Podcast, and I wasn't expecting this. I genuinely wasn't expecting this. Wow, Ottawa! This is exciting! It's absolutely amazing. So, in case, if like me, you missed it at first glance, well, the Ottawa Charge have officially announced that they'll be playing all their World Cup playoff games this year at Canadian Tire Centre. This is amazing! This is absolutely brilliant for them. I mean, wow. I mean, it was only back in Easter, back on Good Friday, that they were actually playing at Canadian Tire Centre and got about, I think it was roughly 17,114 people. So not bad going. But yeah, so we've had the last game of the regular season, it's that quadruple header, and was that exhausting night for me, because obviously it was not just a quadruple header, it was 5 games for me. So I think I might still be exhausted from it. So it's probably a good job that our post series doesn't begin until the Saturday. And we still speaking of obviously, we still not decided what we're doing about that, because obviously, you know, I've still got the Wild and Stanley Cup, so yeah. Anyway, we'll see. I think Thursday will be like a last minute game time decision, because we still, that's how I record it, because we're recording this on the Monday. So the day before Game 5 in Dallas, and then Game 6 is on Thursday, but we haven't got the start time yet for Game 6. I'm hoping that'll come at some point tomorrow, but we'll see. Yeah, so I had all 4 games in the quadruple PHL, and also at the same time I had the Wild's highly stressful Game 4. I'm surprised that I didn't burst a blood vessel. Those referees! Oh my god! Oh. I think that was one of those cup of tea moments. My boys was hurt after that. Yeah, so I must have missed this, because I didn't see this until literally yesterday. You know, when we were waiting for Montreal to basically make their pick, you know, choose their poison. So I didn't see it till yesterday. But it's incredible. And it's all because the Charge, when they clinched their spot in the playoffs, you had their general manager came out, he spoke to the crowd, and I was going, what's this? What's happening? Now, it's not uncommon for GMs to do that at the end of the season, but, you know, your season technique wasn't done, you know. So it kind of felt like, is he going to do an announcement? Is there an announcement coming? But no, he basically said, thank you for your support, you're the best fans, we'll see you in the playoffs. It was all that. So it must have been announced like a few hours afterwards. So while I was setting up for Wild and Stars and obviously Frost and Golden Eyes, that window must have been when the announcement got made. It must have been then. But no, but it's absolutely incredible, amazing. So I'm going to wait for it now. So the Ottawa Charge to play playoff games at Canadian Tire Centre. The Ottawa Charge have officially clinched the 4th and final spot in the 2026 PHL World Cup playoffs, presented by Shark Ninja, following their 3-0 win over TO. In conjunction with the team's playoff berth, the Ottawa Charge have confirmed all home games will be played at Canadian Tire Centre. Ottawa's player opponent for the semi-finals is going to be the Boston Fleet. We now know that. And we're still waiting for the full schedule though. Yesterday we only got confirmation of games 1 and 2. Games 3 to 5 in both series still haven't got their dates announced. Now for us that's understandable, because obviously in Plus Belt, the Larbo Rockets, they are in the Collar Cup playoffs. In fact, they're going to be hosting the Marlies in the North Division semi-final. That, I believe, is starting on Wednesday, that series. That series is starting on Wednesday. So it's not going to affect the first 2 games of our series, which is May the 2nd and May the 5th. think I honestly don't think that series is gonna bother, because if that goes to game 5, it will be May the 8th in Larbel. So I don't think that'll be affected at all. It will depend what happens if Larbel then qualifies for the division finals. We'll see what happens there. So there's that, and also the Wild are still in the Stanley Cup playoffs. That series against Dallas is tied at 2 apiece. And as I mentioned, Game 5 is tomorrow. That is 1 a.m. in the UK. And then Game 6 is on Thursday. Time yet to be confirmed. And then if it goes to Game 7, which it could do. We all knew it was going to be in Minnesota. It was going to be a long series. But if it does go to Game 7, that will then take place on Saturday in Dallas. So I can understand why for Games 3 and 4 of our series you can't confirm those days yet, because we don't know what's going to be happening with the Wild. Because obviously if they can somehow go through to the next round, they of course will meet Bernie, who obviously swept Plur Lady last night. King's gone. We knew that was never going to be not going to be a good series for them, didn't we? But hey, King's fans, look on the bright side. I've been trying to say to Plur Lady, at least she didn't have to see Everton this year. Ducky's taking really good care of them for you. Okay. Yeah, but if the Wild somehow get through to the next round, they'll face Colorado, then we'll need to wait for the second round schedule for the NHL to come out, and then that may could affect us. So I can understand that. But why in the Boston Ottawa series is there still TBDs there? Because the Senators... Bye! That was no contest. I hope there aren't any Senators fans watching, because... Nah. No chance. How did you even get in? Over the Islanders? How did you even get... And the Red Wings? How did you get in? How did you get into that Senators? I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. That was an easy series sweep for the Carolina Hurricanes. Easy. I kind of feel that Carolina needs an easy series, because it's only going to get hard for them, especially since there's a lot of expectation on them. But yeah, so Canadian Tire said it's free. So what is the hold up? Unless are there any concerts going on in the next couple of weeks, maybe? Could that be it? Concerts, maybe? Maybe that's the reason? I don't know. Yeah. So both semi-finals, we've still got TBDs for the games 3, 4, and 5, but hopefully they'll be confirmed nearer. Need to be. We'll probably get information next week, hopefully. Because game 2 of the Boston Ottawa series is Saturday, and game 2 of our series is next Tuesday. So, yeah. So I think this is really good for Ottawa. So we know they're going to be playing Boston in the semi-finals. And I really do fancy Ottawa's chance there. I know a lot of people look at that city big. Yep, Boston, easy. But I don't know. Ottawa's has actually got the better of Boston this year. Ottawa's won 3 of the matchups this year. So I wouldn't be surprised if Ottawa, especially how good they've been over time this year, I wouldn't be surprised if Ottawa, does a Minnesota and qualifies to the finals as the 4th seed. I wouldn't be surprised. Okay, I wouldn't be surprised. And it does kind of feel like this year, it does feel like unfinished business for the Charge, because last year, that cup could have been theirs. Ottawa did not make it easy for us last year. And you will have no complaints from me if Ottawa fans want to say that should have been ours last year. You'll have no complaints from me. Fine. Yeah, because you could have easily done it. It was a really great series last year. It could have gone to 5. It didn't go to 5. Yeah, but Ottawa gave us a really good run for our money. That was more stressful than the first one was. Yeah. So, I'm not going to underestimate Ottawa at all. Not because of what they did last year's finals, but I'm just going to say now, if you think Ottawa's going to be an easy team, you might want to go and just rewatch last year's playoffs on YouTube. Go and do that. Because you'll see this team can play with the best of the best. They took down Montreal last year in the semi-finals. and they were so close, tiny margins of error. Cost them the cup, but so yeah. Plus, I'll be honest, if we can't win this year, I would like Ottawa to win. I hope that's not me jinxing them, but if we go back to in the build up to the season this year, me and Lady did have high hopes for Ottawa to maybe be that team that misses out on the prize. So goes to the finals and misses out on the prize 1 year, but then goes straight back the next year and wins it. Which we've yet to see in the PHL. We've yet to see in the PHL a team lose the finals 1 year, but then go straight back the next year and win it. We've yet to see that. It's happened in the AHL. And of course, the Florida Panthers are the most recent example of that, because obviously they lost in 2023. In the year that I did root for them. And then in 2024, the year I was rooting against them, they then won it. And just let's be clear, Panthers fans, if you did not play Edmonton, you would have had my backing. You would have had my backing, okay? If you had not played Edmonton, the last 2 finals, you would have had my backing, okay? So, it wasn't in 2024 I was against you guys. It's just I was rooting for the upper team. I wanted the upper team to win, given who was on the upper team. Okay? If it had been anybody else, I would have rooted for the Panthers. Because I did root for them in 2023. But you guys know. I would root for anybody over Vegas any day. Okay? Any day of the year. You know I would root for anybody over Vegas. Okay? You know that. You know. So yeah. So we've yet to see that out of the PHL. We've also, the PHL, have yet to see a World Cup Finals rematch. I would love that. Not sure how I feel about this year, though, if it would be a rematch of last year. I'm not sure about that, but we get to see that. So I'd love to see that at some point in our league's history. We have had semi-final rematches. We had it last year with us and Tio. So yeah. So I do think Ottawa actually does have a good chance. You look at the 4 teams that are through. You look at Ottawa and think, compared to the other 3, Ottawa are probably on paper are probably the underdogs. But I don't know. It would not surprise me if Ottawa does it. It would not surprise me. But then they feel like it's unfinished business because they came so close last year. So we'll see how it goes. But I'm not counting out Ottawa. I'm not counting out Ottawa. Not one bit. Okay, so yeah. So I will not be surprised if Ottawa does it over Boston in the semi-finals. Would not be surprised. I know going into these World Cup finals, a lot of you believe it probably is going to be Boston and Montreal in the finals. But I wouldn't be surprised if we get Montreal and Ottawa. I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, it's going to be a very tough tour for us, the semi-finals, because obviously, we haven't beaten Montreal this season. And of course, eventually, we are going to have to hand the crown over. So, yeah. So I wouldn't be surprised if people have got their brackets already set and they think, it's going to be Boston and Montreal, it's going to be the heated rivalry and all that. I wouldn't be surprised if it's Montreal Ottawa in the finals. Would not be surprised. And that would be good, because, then we can say we guarantee the Canadian team wins the World Cup. That'd be a really good thing for Canada. You can win championships, because obviously, I know the Abbotsford Canucks won the World Cup last year, but I'm not sure many people really pay attention to the AHL. I do, because obviously I've been involved with the Barracuda for 11 years now, so I am, but no, I don't think look at that. So we're talking about professional leagues. This would be really good for Canada. It doesn't look like they're going to be winning the Stanley Cup this year, does it? No. So yeah, so maybe it would be nice this year to have a all-Canadian. I don't think we've had that in my lifetime. Actually, definitely since I've been involved with the AHL in 2009, we have not had an all-Canadian matchup in the finals. And of course, in order for that to happen, you would need either Winnipeg, Calgary, Edmonton, or Vancouver in the West, and then either Toronto, Ottawa, or Montreal in the East to get to the Stanley Cup finals, and that would guarantee it. Could you imagine that happened though? We had an all Canadian Stanley Cup final. Guy Beckwood would lose his shit. He would lose his shit. Okay, because he'd be like, all right, god, I've got to go and give the cup out to Canada. He would lose his shit. I would love it, because it would be great, you know, an all-Canadian match of the finals, that'd be brilliant, but I just know Gabba would be thinking, oh my god, how am I supposed to sell this to ESPN? Yeah, so it's definitely not happened since I played Ball the Extra in 2009, and I'm not too sure it's happened in my lifetime as a whole. I was born November 1996, so you have to go back from 1997 to the present day, because obviously I was born after the 1996 finals, which saw the Avalanche sweep Florida. So it's definitely not happened in my tenure, I'll say, since 2009. But I think that would be really great. We can have an all-Canadian. Obviously, guys, you know my preference is for the Frost to win, but if it can't be me this year, then maybe I would like Montreal in the finals, and I think we would get really good finals. Yeah. So I really hope the Charge gets to the finals, because could you imagine having 2 World Cup playoff series in Canadian Tire Centre? Would be absolutely epic. Plus, I don't think Canadian Tire Centre has hosted a championship series since the 2007 finals when Ducky won the cup in that year. Yeah, so I think that would be really good for the city of Ottawa. They can host a championship series in one of the biggest arenas out there. That's going to be really good. So I'm so excited for that. So I'm really forward to that. So yeah, so games 3 and 4 at Target is still TDDs. We do know you'll be hosting Boston in that semi-final series. So who knows? Maybe they might do better against Boston. They have done against Montreal there so far, but no. If you go check out the recap episode we did on that Good Friday game, I did say the Charge did play well in that game, despite it being, I think it was a 3-0 shutout with Montreal. No, that's really exciting, and you're going to get more. We know how passionate Ottawa is as a fan base. We know how passionate the Ottawa Charge fan base is. So this is really good. So they can get more people out there. That's going to be brilliant. That's brilliant. Now, the big thing though, we are going to come to finish off the show. The big thing though is, does that mean the move to CTC is now a done deal? So obviously, there is still a question mark about what's going to happen with Ottawa in terms of their arena situation. We know their lease in TD Place is almost up. So, was that game on April the 25th, 2026, was that the last PHL game to be played in TD Place? I think it might have. Because by making this announcement, that to me pretty much signals that this deal is a done deal. And in fact, I did see on social media later in the night, I did see someone post a video of at the Senators Game 4. So while the Senators were about to bow out of the Stanley Cup playoffs, they did pause to acknowledge the Charge had clinched their spot in the playoffs. So that's got me thinking, okay, there clearly is a relationship forming between the Senators and the Charge. It's just taking a lot more longer to build. You know, why would you do this if you weren't seriously on the brink of moving to CTC? Now, I have said that this could be something that gets done this summer, so it could be, you know, because obviously, you know, we first heard about the official talks literally the night before we flew out to Minneapolis. Kidding not, the night before we flew out to Minneapolis, I was finishing packing, and it was there, the news was out, oh, there's talks between Senders and the Charge, oh, okay. Right, we know what we're going to be recording first thing when we come back from Minneapolis, don't we? Yep. Yep, straight in there. Straight in there. Yeah, so, yeah, and I've been saying to you guys, CTC is the only option. So if you still want to come at me for travel, sorry, not going to watch. It's the only option. It's the only option left, okay? Okay? So don't try it. Don't try it. We've already been through that. Don't try it, kids. Do not try it. Okay, unless you want your manhood to be castrated or to be kicked in the balls. Okay, just don't go anymore. I know what I'm talking about. You do not. Let's leave it at that. Yeah. So, yeah. I've been saying that decision might be something that happens in the off season. So it could be at some point in the summer or say beginning of September. Because the Cyrus Moon's potential centre was rumoured in the summer 2024 and then got announced beginning of September 2024 So it could be that's we hear talks over the summer, and then it doesn't get confirmed until like some point in September, like right before we get schedules. Yeah. I do believe the talks that are still ongoing, so they're still trying to work it all out. But don't be surprised if we come back up here during the summer or beginning September, and we are talking about the Ottawa Charge moving to CTC, and I'll be ready to go full on Will and Grace and be all like, told you so, told you so, told you, told you, told you so. Okay? I will do it. I will do it. I will do it. I will do it. Maybe the Charge jersey. Who knows? But I will do it. I will do it. I will do it. Okay? So you've been warned now. But yeah. So I do believe that it pretty much is now a 99% guarantee that this move to CTC is a go. You just need to finish doing all the dotting the I's, crossing the T's and all that. But I do believe this is a go. And they've proven they can still get the masses out. I mean, they got 17,000 people on the last one. So that's not bad. And with having these playoff games at CTC, you can then build a case even further. Because every time you get the attendance, we'll be able to see, oh, yeah, really good progress. So, yeah, really good. So, yeah, so I do kind of think now, with this announcement, and Plur Lady did ask me this yesterday, do you think the move's now pretty much guaranteed? And I said to them both, yeah. Yeah, so yeah, they know what I'm thinking. Yeah, it's pretty much a done deal now, guys. It's pretty much certain. I do believe the Ottawa Charge will be moving to CTC. And when that announcement comes, I don't know. And I do believe this is the better option because Lansdowne seems to be going ahead. We know the City Council back in November did approve Lansdowne 2.0, despite it being the wrong thing to do. It got approved, so we know that's going ahead. The league's made it very adamant we are not playing in that arena, so there's only one other option, and that is CTC. And CTC won't be forever. We know the Senators are trying to build a new arena closer to downtown. We haven't got the timelines of that really. Whereas for Calgary, we know Calgary's moving after next year. We know Calgary's got a new arena coming. We learned about that when the World Cup hockey locations were announced. Wow! We were in Minneapolis. Yeah! We saw that video when we were in the airport when we were coming back home. So, yeah. So we know Calgary's going to be moving into a new building in 2027, 28. So, next year, I think that next year they're going to be milking it. They're going to be milking it's the last season at the Saddle Dome. They've got a patch already for that, so they're going to be absolutely milking it next year. I don't blame them. I mean, if I was moving house, would I want to do maybe throw like a farewell party to what's been to what's been my home for a very long time in my life? I probably would. I probably would be expected to do a housewarming party, so I don't blame them. So you guys, so Harvey, milk away, just milk away, Harvey. You do that if you want to. Yeah, and what better way to christen your new barn with getting to host a World Cup? It's the knockout stage, I believe. But Calgary's got the knockout stages, and Edmonton's got the finals. I only saw a glimpse of it because I'm not sure what I'm doing about World Cup hockey. You need to wait until you have to ask me that. You have to ask me that this time next year. What I'm going to do about that. Yeah, but we do know they are trying to get a new arena. It's going to take a lot longer than Calgary is. So we'll see how it goes. But I am really looking forward to what's coming ahead for the Charge in the playoffs. It's going to be so exciting. Can you imagine if they? Could you imagine they could have got up this time last year? Could you imagine? Especially how last year Ottawa did have home ice advantage for the finals. Could you imagine if they got this done last year? And we ended up having the World Cup finals last year in 2 state-of-the-art HR arenas. Could you imagine that? Oh well. You'll just have to go to the World Cup finals this year, Charge. You will just have to go to the World Cup finals this year. Only downstairs, this year you will be the lowest seed if you do get to the finals because you were the number 4 seed. Even if we beat Montreal, you would be the lowest seed in the finals. So, no. So I really hope the Charge go to the finals, because to get 2 playoff series in Canadian Tyson would be absolutely brilliant. But I do believe the move to CTC is pretty much now all but a guarantee. I think it is a dead cert now that move's going to happen. And I do believe that is the best thing for Ottawa. It's the best thing than having no team at all, because that's your only option. There's only 2 options now for Ottawa. Okay? It's either CTC or you lose your team. And I don't want that. We do not want that, Ottawa. Okay? So with this announcement, I do believe now that the Charge are definitely on the way to CTC next year. We'll see how it goes. Honestly, I'm so happy for so happy. Yes, it's so exciting. We still don't know what we're going to be doing with Boston Ottawa series. We know we're definitely watching our series. Because the last 2 seasons we've only done our playoff series. And obviously this year we're upping our coverage, doing pretty much all games. We've been debating, should we do that with the playoffs as well? You know, especially as it would be good practice for if the Frost get knocked out. We have to then do it with the World Cup finals. So, we'll see. And of course, obviously, I've still got the Wild in the Stanley Cup. And Game 6 that's on Thursday. So, I think we're waiting until Thursday to make our decision about that, what we're going to do. And also, of course, on Saturday, both series overlap. We are set 2 p.m. Eastern on Saturday, and Boston Ottawa is 7 p.m. Eastern on Saturday. So if our game doesn't go to overtime, we can then just get straight to you guys as normal. Otherwise, we'll have to just top in after ours. That's how it will work. Yeah, but we are trying to decide what we'll do about that. It's going to be literally like a last-minute decision. It'll probably be we'll wake up on Thursday and we'll then make the decision. But the Thursday's going to 7 p.m. Eastern in Boston, so that's midnight our time. So we've got plenty of time to decide what to do, but I think it's going to be a last-minute decision about that. We'll see what happens. Because obviously with the World Cup Burst, we watch every series regardless of what happens to the Frost. So yeah, because we just love women's hockey and we're so keen to see what happens in this exciting time. So yeah, so great, yes, it's a great news. Great news for that. Can't wait to see the Charge play playoff games from TD Place to CTC. It's brilliant. No, we've seen what playoff games are like in TD Place. Brilliant, but you're gonna get that next level at CTC. It's gonna be absolutely. So can't wait to see what playoff games in CTC. It's gonna be absolutely amazing. So I hope you're ready, Boston, because the Charge, they're here to play. They're here to play. The Charge are here to play. So yeah. So exciting time to head to Ottawa. Exciting time to head to Ottawa. Reminder, Charge fans, your series begins on Thursday, April the 30th in Boston at Soccer Centre. And then game 2 will be also at Soccer Centre on Saturday. And then of course the series will then shift the following week to CTC. Games 3, 4 and 5 are still TBDs for both series. Both series have got games 3 and 4 and 5 as TBDs. They've still not finalised that yet. Hopefully we'll get that at some point next week, because game 2 in our series is on next Tuesday. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. Yeah, alright. So excited for you guys. Let's wish you best of luck. Unless you see us the finals there, of course, then of course, go to hell. But anyway, until next time, take care. And don't get spoiled.